All right, this one looks fun. Says divide, and we've got a complex number on top and a complex number on the bottom. Anytime you have a complex number in the denominator of a fraction, we want to get rid of that because remember that I is the square root of -1. And technically, we're not supposed to have radicals, square roots, cube roots, so forth in the denominator. So what we're going to do is multiply the top and the bottom of this fraction by the conjugate of the denominator. The conjugate is 1 minus 2i. So you keep the real number part the same, 1, but you change the sign on the imaginary part. We have to multiply the top and the bottom by that. Now, I would suggest putting parentheses around these, and you kind of treat them as though you're multiplying binomials. So when we multiply the top, we've got 4 multiplications to do. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times minus 2i is minus 8i. Now I have to come back and do minus 6i times 1 is minus 6i. And then minus 6i times minus 2i is plus 12i squared. Ding, 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 ding. Whenever you see an I squared, we're going to be coming back to replace that with a -1. And then, let's see, on the bottom, now the reason we multiply by the conjugate is because the middle term is going to drop out, and we find out that we're not going to have any imaginary numbers on the bottom. So when we multiply there, we're going to have 1 times 1 is 1. And we're going to have 1 times a minus 2i is minus 2i, but in the next step we're going to have 1 times 2i, so that's plus 2i. So those two are going to drop out. I'm not even going to write them, but we still have this last term. 2i times a minus 2i is a minus 4i squared. Ding, 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 ding. There's that I squared again. So in the next step, I'm going to combine like terms and deal with these I squareds. Okay, so let's look at the numerator. We have a minus 8i and a minus 6i. Those are going to combine to give me minus 14i. And let's see, and then the 4 and the plus 12i, because that I squared is -1, think of that plus 12 as really just a minus 12 because it's 12 times -1. So really an I squared just changes the sign of whatever's attached to it. So we really have 4 minus 12 is -8. Notice I put the real part first and then the imaginary part minus 14 second. Let's look at the denominator. The denominator, again, we have that I squared. So we really have a 4 times a -1 is minus 4, but we've got minus a minus 4. In fact, you can view this as -4 times -1. Again, it just changes the sign. So on the bottom, we have just 1 plus 4. So next step, on top we have minus 8 minus 14i. On the bottom, we have 5. We're almost done. They want us to put our answer in the form of a plus bi. So what I'm going to do is rewrite this one more time and split the 5 up. So we're going to end up with -8 over 5. And then minus 14. I can put the minus sign in between. Minus 14 over 5. And then usually we put the I on the end like that. So if we're looking at this, this is a minus 8/5, and B, they want the number in front of the I term, and we want to include the sign, would be -14/5. There you go.